Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Thank you for watching. In today's video I'm just going to be sharing with you how I make a sunflower seed and cashew nut paste. So you can make this with spinach, which is what I'm going to be doing in this video, and it's what I usually make it with. You can also make it with dried herbs or fresh herbs, and it is essentially a pesto. It's just obviously plant-based, and this is actually something that I put on my toast, which may seem a little bit weird, but it's actually a really good way to incorporate greens and healthy fats and proteins and even B12 into your daily kind of diet, and to get those things in your breakfast I think is a really good start to the day. So I'm just going to be sharing with you now in this video how I make it. It's really simple, as you can see, very few ingredients. I'll run through all the ingredients with you in the video and the exact process. I have mentioned in the past how I want to find a more effective way of filming, so yeah, let's just get into it. Okay, so here I'm just showing you the soaked cashew and sunflower seeds. So I soaked these overnight. In fact, I think it was probably more like over a day in the end. But yeah, the longer you can soak them, the better. Obviously not too long, because then they can go bad, but you just really want them to soften up so that they're easier to blend and they're not gritty. So yeah, just showing you here, this is them being soaked after being soaked overnight and thoroughly rinsed. So I am going to now go over and show you everything in the blender. I do want to find a way to be able to film whilst I'm cooking without having to hold the phone, but so far this is what I've got. So yeah, I hope that you find this helpful, and yeah, let me get on and show you how I do it. Okay, so here I'm just showing you what is in the blender. So there are my soaked cashews and sunflower seeds, and then there is some black pepper, some salt, and my 3.5 garlic cloves, I'd say, probably 2 big ones, but I really like garlic, so that's just up to you. And then here I've got my nutritional yeast flakes ready to go in. So I'm just going to pop this blender on now. It's turned on, and I'm just going to so I have whizzed that up for about a minute. It's really for as long as it then all starts to stick to the sides, if that makes sense. So the blades are just kind of not actually mixing anything up. So I think it was about a minute or two. So I've come back to it now, and this is what it looks like. And then I've added here 2 lemon juice cubes. So I oh, and there's the leftover rinds that I'm using to clean my cooker, which I've mentioned in a previous video are really good for direct cleaning. So using the peel directly, obviously pulp side down onto a surface, brilliant cleaner. But yeah, let's get back to the video. So this is what I do when I juice my lemons. I often get them reduced. I've mentioned this in the past, and I'll like I say, find them in the reduced aisle, and so because there's often too many for me to get through, I'll just juice them up, and then I freeze them in an ice cube tray, which has worked out to be a really convenient way of doing this. And it also portions out, I think, 1/2 is so 1/2 of a lemon is exactly 1 cube, so that's really handy. But yes, so it allows me to store them and keep them for longer. So I've added 2 cubes in there, and then I've added my nutritional yeast. Usually I don't really measure things, but for the purpose of this video I have used 2 tablespoons just as a rough guide, but really I like to just taste as I go, if that makes sense. And yeah, so I'm not usually very specific with nutritional yeast, but just wanted to show you, like I say, for the purpose of this video. So I'm going to whiz this up again now, and yeah, nobody wants to hear that noise, so I'll come back to you in a second when it's looking a little bit more together. Okay, so I've pushed all of the sides down, and it's not looking like much because it's a little bit too dry. Obviously the ice cubes will take a while to kind of warm up and dissolve or melt. So at this point I'm going to add the oil, but yeah, just to kind of show you how this is getting along. Okay, so yeah, I've added some oil directly into the blender bowl. I couldn't think what the word was, sorry. Usually I will, at this point, I'll turn this on and then I'll add the oil, you know, in here directly into the top feeder. This is a really good way to kind of keep the mixture blending at the same time. Obviously, like I said, I do want to find a more efficient way of filming. I realise that this isn't massively convenient for you to watch because it keeps obviously cutting out and I'm holding the phone by hand. So I do want to find a much better way of doing this, but I'm just going to keep adding the oil now, pouring it into this top bit here until it starts to kind of form a more paste-like consistency. The seeds and nuts obviously need to be ground down so that it's not gritty or kind of gritty. And yeah, so I'll get back to you shortly and then I'll be adding the spinach, and I believe that's it in terms of ingredients. It's really that simple. I will season to taste, so I'll see if it needs more salt, more pepper, more nutritional yeast. So yeah, I'm going to get on with that now, and I'll come back to you and show you what the end result of the paste is. Okay, so this is how it looks now that it's blended all in with the olive oil. I will give this another whiz for a couple of minutes until it's really much smoother. It does use up quite a lot of oil, and it's really difficult for me to say kind of exactly how much oil you would need. I would just advise to start with a little bit. It will take quite a bit because obviously that's all dry ingredients and you are, you know, ultimately trying to turn this into a paste. So it does require quite a fair amount of oil. You could use just water only. Personally, I've never done that because I like the taste of olive oil, and I think it provides us with good healthy fats, raw healthy fats. But you could do it with oil, or you could do half and half, or you could, you know, do a third oil and 2/3 water, whatever you like really, just to get to the consistency that you want. But yeah, it's just to kind of show you how that's kind of looking now. And yeah, just start with a little bit and add as you go, and you'll soon see how much you need because it will start to all mix together once the oil is incorporated. So yeah, without me rambling on too much further, I'm gonna give this another go for a couple of minutes until it's nice and smooth, and I'll come back to you again. Okay, so I've whizzed that up, I'd say for a good 5 minutes, and I went ahead and added another big dash of black pepper and also several good grinds of sea salt. These are both refilled in my local zero waste store that I've mentioned in the past, so just reuse the previous container. And then this one here, I actually grind this up myself in a blender, so I buy the black peppercorns loose from my refill store, and then I just grind them up in a blender and just to make like a fine powder. I find that much easier to use, and it just lives in here with my other spice blends that I have that I refill also at my zero waste store. So yes, I have blended this up now for a good 5 minutes. I was thinking you can really just blend this for as long as you like, really. You could have it like similarly to how peanut butter is, you know, you could have it slightly crunchy if you want, or you can have it uber smooth. It's up to you really. But yeah, like I say, I went and added some more black pepper and sea salt, whizzed it up for a good 5 minutes, and I also added 2 tablespoons of water because I felt like it was a bit too sticky and I definitely didn't want to add any more oil. So yeah, I also added 2 tablespoons of water, but again, this is just all personal preference. Just add a little bit, and then you know, you can't remove it, but you can always add a little bit more just to get the consistency that you like. So now I've got my bag of reduced spinach over here, and this is a 250 gram bag. I'm not sure that I'm going to use all of this, but just to, you know, bear in mind, this was, I believe, 120 grams in total of nuts and seeds. So usually I do around 65 grams for my usual portion, but I wanted to use up this big bag of spinach, and it's a lot easier just to make it in a bigger batch. But it doesn't last that long. It probably lasts a week, possibly a bit more in the fridge, depending on how many of you are eating it, of course. So yeah, this is the consistency that I'm happy with now. I really want to make sure that there's no kind of sandy bits in the paste because of the nuts, but they were soaked for a really long time, so I'm sure it'll be absolutely fine. And I've tasted it now, and I like where that is now. So I'm going to add the spinach again. I'm going to turn this off because it's really noisy, but I will just add it through the top thingy here. It's just a lot easier. You can keep adding it as you go as well. I find it easier than just trying to, you know, stuff it all in there kind of thing. So yeah, I will be adding it into the top there, and I'll come back to you again. Okay, so there you have it. I've got the consistency that I wanted. I've added all of that spinach. I did add the whole bag in the end, but to be honest, even by my standards, it was a little bit too far gone. But obviously, I can't stand food waste, so I've used it up anyway. I'm hoping I'll be able to get through all of this lot. So yeah, this is what I use on my toast. It's absolutely delicious. It's a really, really good way to get healthy fats and protein and even B12 into your daily kind of, you know, meals, and particularly first thing at breakfast time. You know, to get greens into your breakfast is quite unusual, so I think this is a really good way of doing that. It's really delicious on hot toast, particularly sourdough is my favorite. And so yeah, this is what it looks like. It's obviously super healthy, raw, and yeah, I think this is just a really great way to incorporate all the things that we kind of need for our bodies. And yeah, like I say, used up the whole bag of spinach in the end. You can obviously halve this. I don't usually make a portion this big, to be perfectly honest, but yeah, so I will just grab the spoon. Yeah, it's just yeah, kind of slightly runny, but it will fall off the spoon, if that makes sense. But it's, yeah, pretty thick. That's pretty damn good for spreading on toast. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Like I've said before, I do want to find a way to actually film whilst I'm cooking, so not holding the phone like I'm doing now. This isn't an overly efficient way of doing it, but yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it useful. I hope that you can kind of see how easy it really is to incorporate healthy greens and just invent new things on a plant-based lifestyle. As always, thank you so much for watching. Please head over to my new Facebook page as well, Red Curl Vegan. Little kind of daily posts on there that don't really make up an entire video, so go over and check that out on Facebook. As always, like and subscribe. I'm really, really grateful. Take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye.